Today, we're going to explore some of the crucial aspects that every buyer, seller, and investor really needs to know coming up here in 2024. First topic I want to kind of touch on real quick, if we could dive into that real quick, is, and this is crucial, folks, the need for information, for good, solid, straightforward, no games, no hooks, no bull information that can help you make a decision one way or the other. Maybe you need someone to help you decipher what that information means and understand it a little bit, right? So again, you can make the best decision one way or the other. That is going to be your most powerful tool going into 2024. Information, understanding what it means, and then being able to react quickly and efficiently. One thing that's going to help you with some of my tips and tricks for being able to land some of these deals next year is to have your file complete. Make sure your agent has your file complete and ready to go. It has all your documents that you need for an offer. It's got your pre-approval, or even better yet, approval. You can have your lender not just do a pre-approval, but actually start the approval process and get you an approval letter. Meaning, when you make that offer, you can now say, here, I am approved, and we can remove loan contingency much faster than the 21 days or 17 days, whatever it's going to be on the contract at this point. And that could be a lengthy process for a seller. They want to know that you're going to be in this to win it much faster, and that could definitely help. So that's just one aspect, is making sure you've got your pre-approval or complete approval ready to go. Any EMD deposits, amounts, you've discussed that and understand that you're going to need to get a check into the escrow account. EMD, earnest money deposit, that's going to hold there in that third neutral party escrow as a deposit until everything is done, contingency is removed. And if you're going to go forward on the sale, that then will just apply towards the down payment that you're making on that property, okay? Or complete purchase, because there's a lot of that going on too, where there's a lot of cash floating around out there and people are actually just buying the property, all cash. Yes, that's happening. Or they're doing large down payments, but don't let that intimidate you. Okay, if you're a first-time buyer, or if you're somebody that doesn't have, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 cash laying around that you could pull from the equity of your current home, then, there are people that are making deals happen with 3% down, 3.5% down. You've even got USDA loans out there where you could do 0 down, and FHA 0 down. I'm sorry. Yes, FHA and VA was 0 down. FHA 3.5%, VA 0 down for our veterans to make deals happen. I've done it many, many, many times. Love work with the veterans, and the VA loans are fantastic. They're solid, So anyways, getting that file completely put together and ready to go, and being able to stay on top of the information as things present themselves to the market, whether it's a cut in rates, or it's an increase in rates, or a speculation of one or the other, or maybe we're keeping an eye on properties that you have determined that you're looking for. We've got the criteria all set, and we're keeping an eye on the market. And because I'm telling you this, in 2024, we're going to see more homes hit the market. We're going to see more homes come out in the market, and that's going to mean more inventory, more options for our buyers, right? For the sellers, that's going to mean that you have more competition, okay? I don't think it's going to be some drastic, crazy number, though, like a flood of listings coming on the market, but it's going to pick up. I think it's going to pick up nicely, and it's going to help our market, actually. It's going to give the sellers that do want to find some inventory that they're not finding now more things coming on the market that will get them excited and go ahead and put their house in the market, go forward with the transaction, right? So these are just some of the important steps of getting your file ready and being able to take advantage of the market when it happens. And honestly, going into 2024, my thoughts for 2024 are those rates are going to come down. The Fed's even talked about 3 cuts coming into 2024. Here we are in December 23, and rates have already come down. They were hovering above 8%, and now we've stepped down into the 6s. We're somewhere around mid 6 to 6.75 in that ballpark right there, just depending on credit scores and what type of loan product you're going to work with, VA, FH, conventional, whatever the case might be. So, so I feel in 2024 rates are going to come down, and I think the market is definitely going to pick up. And I think the rates are going to come down to a real nice number. I'm not going to be shocked if it gets into the 5s. I'm really not. And I think it's going to happen, okay? And when that happens, it's going to get busy, folks. The market's going to get busy in 2024. That's my true feeling, okay, going forward. So navigating through real estate, buying, selling the house. Of course, you know it's complex, and it can be as complex as a maze sometimes getting through these deals and navigating through everything with the negotiations and escrow and title and home inspections and verifications of property and buyers' final walkthroughs and coordinating the moving and the moving trucks and the days you've got to be out of your house by what time and the days that you could actually start getting into the home that you're buying. Yes, these are all things that can be very complex. And guess what? As the agent coordinating all of these things, being that guy in the middle, the guy responsible, the guy that you're going to go to and point a finger and yell at if things go wrong, right? He's got a big burden on his shoulders. He's got to make all this work for you guys, right? For everybody. Yes, the person he's representing, whether it's the buyer or the seller, right? But everyone's got to come together in a harmonious fashion to make this deal happen and just be a smooth transition from one property to another. And there's a lot that goes into it, a ton that goes into it. My gosh, darn it. I'll tell you. Anyway, so let's move on to the next thing. I want to talk to you a little bit about this movie that has been coming out here. Well, just came out on Netflix here. Leave the World Behind. Have you guys seen this movie? Have you? I'll tell you, I watched it just the other night and I am blown away. I mean, just my wife and I talked a lot about this movie. What did this mean? What did that mean? There's like so many different potential messages in this movie. And why? What makes it so interesting, this movie, is who produced the movie, right? And that is our former president of the United States of America, Barack Obama, and his wife, Michelle. They produced this movie. And I'm interested. Watch the movie. Let me know what you think of the movie. Maybe you've watched it already. Comment. Let me know. And also, too, while you're doing that, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe so I can keep you up to date on some of the information out here in our real estate world going forward, okay? Anyways, the interesting thing about that movie, too, I wanted to share with you is that it seems kind of like our real estate market, too. It's like, the volatility, the uncertainty of all of that movie, and also the real estate market, how it's been. But again, we just got to really look at the hard numbers and what's happening. A good agent knows what happened yesterday in the market. A good agent knows what's happening today in the market. And we could all take that information and knowledge and can kind of like really speculate on what's going to happen in tomorrow's market. Nobody knows for sure. We're all speculating. That's the key word here. We're all speculating. But again, following the numbers, following the trends, following the history, understanding the market and where we're at, we can make a pretty good solid speculation going forward into tomorrow from today, right? So anyways, what I want to touch on with the results of that movie and the feeling that it would give a lot of people, if you're comparing that with the real estate market, right, is the paralysis, the people just paralyzed in their homes since COVID. A lot of people not wanting to leave because the interest rates they landed through COVID were some of the lowest in history, if not the very lowest in history. People down around 3% in these homes, right? So, and they want to move. It's time to move. They want to make a move for whatever the reason might be. There's a host of reasons. And usually the most important reason is family ties. Yes. The number is about 21% of people making moves in 2024 are going to be because of family. Want to be closer to their family. And I always see that. I've had that happen in my own real estate career too. When I ask people, hey, so what stimulates the move? What's the motivation for the move? It's because it's a lot of work. Selling your house, buying another house, making the move, trucks, the whole thing. It's a lot of work. Why? Why are you going to do it? And mostly, a lot of times, it's family. That's the number one reason, family, that I come across, or work. Work's another big one too. And down at the bottom of the barrel, which is there sometimes, I just can't stand the neighbors anymore. I got to get out of here. Bam. Let me get out of here, And so when I get that too, I absolutely can understand that too. Sometimes there's different reasons that we need to make a move, right? And then, of course, there's always the downsizing or upsizing or whatever that case might be. I've had more kids, or now they've moved out, and I'm tired of walking up and down those stairs. I want a single story. That's been a pretty popular choice too in my career. So anyways, the paralysis of the market. This is why we don't have a lot of homes on the market. And this is one of the reasons our prices have been holding steady. Okay. If we had a lot more homes on the market, I think that'd be a different ball game right now. Really, I do. But because of the level of inventory that we have, the high interest rates that we've had up hovering over the 8% mark, which now again they're down, dipping into the high sixes and mid sixes. That's where we're at now. So things are really looking nice going into 2024, especially with the Fed talking about more rate cuts coming up. So what's going to happen too in 2024, when these rates continue to drop down a little bit more, the fatigue, the interest rate fatigue, right? This being paralyzed, and I don't want to sell this house and get rid of this 3% interest rate to go, acquire a new 8% or a 7%. Well, guess what? Now we're going to get down to the sixes and into the fives. And this is going to make you say, you know what? I could work with this. I could definitely work with this. And there's a lot of people who have been getting used to that higher interest rate anyways already. They've been making moves. People have been making moves because a lot of agents and lenders have been bringing in the strategies necessary to bring those rates down, okay? And what I mean by that is we're employing things like rate buy downs, short-term or long-term rate buy downs. Let's get those rates down to where it's an affordable level for the buyer of the property, whether it's getting the seller to kick in and help out, or the lender, or the buyer as well, or all three, join in and make this deal happen and get that rate bought down so the affordability really increases for the buyer. And this is how we've been making deals happen all through this crazy high interest rate environment that we've been in. And thank God it's starting to come down. I'm super excited for 2024 coming up. Keep this in mind, my site. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe so we can keep you updated on some of this information coming out as it comes out, okay? Until then, this is Cash, wishing you the best.